Overall, about the way the guys played today?
There were a lot of positives there. I thought we moved the basketball. They really loaded up defensively, so the skip passes were there. They were trying to keep the ball on one side with the exception of the skip passes. And I thought we handled that pretty well, got the ball moving. But really, again, the focus was going to be on the defensive end. First half, it was okay. Second half, we liked our effort on the boards, hustle plays, all the things that we really are locked in on right now. Their style of play was concerning. Really good movement, back cuts, splits, great motion, 5 out. Can really bother even a good defensive team. And we're not a good defensive team yet, so I had some concerns about that. And they got us a few times, cut in front of us, curled it, got us on some back cuts, and we got caught looking at the ball. But overall, I thought the second half of the effort was pretty good.
Yeah, what was the halftime message to come out with that kind of energy after the break? Was there something you told them to do or something that you brought to them at that period?
Well, a few X's those things, a little bit of tactical stuff. But again, the message was that we didn't feel like we did a good enough job on the boards. Didn't feel like we did a good enough job with hustle plays, with energy plays, diving on the floor. And so, pretty simple message, but they responded, obviously, and came out and set a real good tone there the first couple possessions of the second half. Got some steals, got some deflections, and really allowed us to pop the game open.
Yeah, and they took a timeout early there, and you guys came out with the full court press, and the guys slapped the floor. And was it important to take the energy to another level in that moment, or what can you take me through with that period there?
Well, we need to get to the point where that's not an abnormal look. The fact that it garnered some attention tells you we're not doing enough of that at this point. Now, obviously, the full court press is a little different deal, but we've worked on some full court, some three-quarter court. They were definitely hungry to do that in that case. Felt a little momentum building, and so they came to that. Our players came to that timeout wanting to put on the full court press. There was a couple other possessions later where they had a side out of bounds where we had a bunch of guys slapping the floor, and I think Phoenix helped us in that regard. Cedric got going with that. We've been challenging Phoenix challenging Cedric to become a big part of that. He needs to join Keaton and Zumbel and be those rocks that we have on the defensive end.
Because, less than 24 hours ago, you were telling us you wanted to see the guys compete, fight, battle, rebound, play tough, all those things. Overall, how would you grade how they showed in those areas? Are you happy with the progress you made there in a short time?
Well, yes, but I mean, we didn't fix everything in 24 hours. This was not, kind of game where we're going to be able to draw tons of conclusions. That's kind of been the challenge here with our opponents and our schedule is Oklahoma. Oklahoma obviously is very talented, and hopefully they're a really good team. We don't know. It was the first game they'd played. The response was what we wanted. Have we solved our issues? Absolutely not. But we're not going to solve them in 24 hours. We're not going to solve them in a week. The challenge right now for us is to make progress, recognize who we are right now, where we are right now, what our issues are right now, and make progress, make steps. I've got to do a better job. We've been talking about how talented some of our new players are, and I've got to get them more touches. We were excited that Parrish got it going tonight. He wanted that ball, throw it down in the post late in the game, let him play out of there. We've got to expand his role and Cedric's role for sure.
All right, let's go to Steven.
Hey, Coach, this is second night of a back-to-back. You've had these 2 weeks in a row now. Do you feel like this helps you guys going forward into conference, considering the whole conference schedule will be made up of back-to-backs?
Hopefully to a small degree. I mean, it was different because we had travel involved in both of these back-to-backs, and today's travel was pretty tough. That was, a little bit worried about our guys just being fatigued from that. The fact that we played a game last night was we expected that, but that was an early wake-up call. A lot of time in the airport today. We came back, and we don't like to call our shoot around. We don't like to call it a walkthrough. We like to call it a shoot around, where we're going to get loose. We're going to break a sweat. We're going to shoot game shots. Today we had a true walkthrough, which is something we don't normally do, and had very little prep time for these guys. So again, that's why the message today was do the best we could with figuring out their personnel. Again, that's very difficult to do with one walkthrough and one film session, is to identify shooters and drivers and differentiate those things. So that's why the message was all about effort today. But yeah, I'm glad we played a couple back-to-backs because it gives us a little taste. We can draw on this when we get into conference play.
Okay, Greg.
Yeah, Steve, can you walk us through in a little more detail, like the last 24 hours or so? You know, what time was the wake-up call? What time did you guys land? How did you manage this this tough turnaround?
Yeah, we got a 5 o'clock wake up, 5:15, hopped on the bus in Norman. It's about a 25-minute ride to Oklahoma City, to the airport there. There were people in the airport, but it wasn't real crowded. We zipped through security. I think our flight was at 7:10, connected through Houston. Had about 45 minutes there in Houston. Landed here 10:30, 10:40. Came right to the arena. Had to do a COVID test as soon as we arrived here. Then we sent them home for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then brought them back for some optional shooting and stretching. 15, 20-minute walkthrough, 15-minute film session, grab and go pregame meal, which is kind of the norm now, which is unfortunate. We like to sit and eat together on game days, but that's just not going to happen this year. So we had those meals ready for them at 2 o'clock. And then at that point, it was back to a normal schedule. Pre-game meals usually 4 hours before tip. Get them back in the arena, hour and a half before tip, and get ready to play.
Did you feel like, given the challenges of that, maybe a little bit of a slow start here the first couple of minutes, or what did you see coming out of the gate?
Yeah, it could have been. You know, my concern, I wasn't going to let them off the hook with that, but my concern was their movement. You know, 5-out motion with guys that are really hungry to cut and play that style can be pretty frustrating. So we wanted to be aggressive, you know, make sure we were up and in the passing lanes and had some ball pressure, but that also can feed into that kind of system. It wasn't a true Princeton system, but we know from experience that against those types of offenses, if you get too extended, they start back cutting you and slipping and cutting in front of you and really make it hard on you. And we did not want to get back in there and get real tight. So I think it was just a little bit of an adjustment of getting a feel for a true motion team like they are.
And what led you to want to give Phoenix Ford his first start today?
Well, we've got such good depth at the 5 spot. And each one of those, we talked about this before, each one of those guys gives us something different. You know, we love what Jacob's been doing. We love his potential. We love where he's going to get, the point he's going to get to. He just want to make sure he gets his confidence back up. So thought bringing him off the bench might help him. Lucas been playing big minutes in there. Adrian Rodriguez has been terrific. But we felt like Phoenix gave us a nice lift in the game yesterday defensively. He's a guy that can switch all ball screens. Of those 4 big guys, he's our best defender and arguably our best rebounder, gives us a real quick defender out there. So just want to reward him. I mean, he's an unbelievable teammate. He busted every day in practice, and he earned the right to get that start. Thought he did a good job of setting the tone for us.
So now I believe with 11 days until your next game, how do you set the focuses between now and then, or what do you want to work on with that time?
Yeah, our message to the guys, we've got three areas we got to focus on. 1, staying healthy. All right, continuing to isolate as hard as that is mentally. We've got to continue to take care of ourselves. 2, it's finals week, you know, so we've got to lock in, take care of that. It's hard to stay focused right now, but we've got to do that. We've got to finish up the semester. So we'll space out our practices a little bit. We'll have a couple days off this week. Hopefully we can line it up the way we'd like to, but that's dependent a little bit on the final schedules. But take care of the finals and then get better. You know, we'll have 3 or 4 practices where it will all be about us and how we can become a better team. And then we'll have a few days, probably Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday the following week, where it's really locked in on Oregon State. You know, the way it is now, who knows what would happen in the next 11 days. But, yes, we anticipate our next game being at Oregon State a week from Wednesday. So they'll present a different challenge than we've seen yet. They're incredibly big, 6'5", 6'5", 6'7", 6'10", 7 foot. So we'll have some different challenges ahead.
Anything else for Coach Henson?
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.